Hi everyone and welcome back to Math Mr. G. I'm here for my students at the Syracuse Academy of Citizenship. Today we're going over Mission 4, Lesson 7 for my students. Our objective for today is as follows. We're going to measure and draw angles and then sketch given angle measures and verify with a protractor. Now, as I've said in the previous episodes or videos, I don't have an online protractor, but I'm going to do my absolute best to simulate what a protractor would be used for, how it would be used for, and really highlight the key elements of measuring angles that you'll need for the protractors in Zearn, which you'll have access to. So we're going to be measuring three different angles here. Okay, we're going to be measuring angle A, angle B, and angle C. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so we can really see what we're looking at. Perfect. Okay, so let's first start with angle A. Now I'm imagining that I'm holding my protractor up to this right here, and I'm going to line it up. That I want the bottom line and the 0 degree point to start right here on this line. And I'm going to draw my blue right over it. I'll use a straight line to really show where I'm starting that protractor. As close to that 0 as possible, if this online whiteboard allows me. Okay. Next, I'm going to follow up with my finger or with some kind of tool. I'm going to start at the 0, and you're going to imagine here that I'm opening this up like a clock until I get right to the angle itself, right there. Perfect. And now looking at the 0 and then following with your fingers, there should be a degree measure here. And for this one, I've pre-measured this, and this is 60 degrees. So I'm going to write that in. This is 60 degrees. And I'll also, of course, draw in how we opened this. Like so. So I know angle A is 60 degrees. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing for angle B. But this time it's going to be reversed. You want your 0 on this left side. If you have your 0 on the right side, you're going to measure just another 60 degrees. And you can see this is an obtuse angle. It has to be greater than 90. So you're going to start with your 0 on the left. And this is the part that usually tricks students. You want your 0 on the left. And then you're going to follow with your finger, holding that protractor very still, all the way up and rotating your finger or whatever tool you have with the protractor up until you get to the angle you need. And I have pre-measured this, and this is 120 degrees. And I, of course, will draw how we open that as well. So we open this up this way. Now what's interesting, and I want to point this out, and you'll be seeing this as we go through the angle measurements throughout this lesson in this unit. Notice that these two angles sit on the same line that's going straight, right? And we know that a straight line from one end to the other is 180 degrees. So any angles that you make on this, they have to have a sum of 180 degrees, okay? They have to have a sum of 180 degrees. And we'll be looking more into that as we go forward to the lessons, and there's a name for that, but I don't want to confuse you guys yet with that because there's different definitions for these. But just know that these add up to be 180 degrees. You're going to see something else that's really interesting here with our next angle. Our next angle, you can see, is up here, and it sits on this top line. Now this line here and this line here are actually parallel, and this intersecting line hits them at the exact same angle. So watch what happens. I'm going to first start my line here with my protractor, and then I'm going to follow it up like so until we get to top. And what's interesting about this is that now that I'm measuring this and we've opened it up, C is actually equal to B. It's 120 degrees. And that only works because this line it sits on and this line it sits on, the base lines that they sit on, are parallel. They start at the same point. And the intersecting line, because it's the same intersecting line, it travels at the same angle. So the angle here is equal to the angle here. Both angle B and angle C are equivalent. They have the same measure. And if perhaps I were to draw, an angle D in here, I'm willing to bet that that would also be 60 degrees, because not only do these match each other because they're parallel lines with the same intersecting line, but also because these two angles sit on the same baseline and they have to add up to 180 degrees. So while this is a lot of information, you might want to re-watch this video once, maybe twice, to really get all the information I've done and to practice your protractor. But the Zern lesson will be going over this in depth, and we'll also be continuing our work with this as we move forward. I look forward to seeing your work, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.